You ever notice how everybody talks about mental health online these days? The crying selfies, the long captions about struggling, the endless carousel posts about anxiety, trauma, depression. It's everywhere. But here's the question you need to ask. Are these influencers helping you heal, or are they just selling you misery? Because it pays. Welcome to Mentors Mindset. Today we're going to call it out. I'm not here to sugarcoat. I'm here to ask, are you healing, or are you just consuming content that keeps you stuck? Let's get uncomfortable. Mental health awareness is important. We need to talk about anxiety, depression, trauma. Absolutely. Let's take it back a bit. 10 years ago, you barely saw anyone talk openly about mental health on social media. People kept their struggles private. Therapy was taboo. Panic attacks, burnout, emotional trauma, those were words whispered in safe corners, not broadcasted to the world. Fast forward to today, mental health is trending. It's not just a conversation anymore, it's a content category. And for better and for worse, it's become one of the most marketable narratives online. Platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube are flooded with creators talking about anxiety, PTSD, depression, ADHD, trauma bonding, and inner child healing. And at first glance, this seems like progress. It's what we wanted, right? To destigmatize mental health, to open up the conversation. Yes, but here's the danger. When something becomes trendy, it also becomes monetized. Let's be real, mental health content is now a genre people build careers on, sometimes with no qualifications, no ethics, and no responsibility. Enter the era of the trauma influencer. These are people who post emotional confessions, talk about their breakdowns, and constantly share raw, real content that's designed to perform pain for engagement. We're not talking about authentic vulnerability, we're talking about strategic oversharing. The algorithm rewards emotional content, especially the kind that gets reactions, crying selfies. POV, you have high-functioning anxiety. Signs your parent was emotionally unavailable. Quick dopamine hits that give you that, yes, I relate feeling over and over again. But that's all it is, relatability without resolution, and some influencers are milking that for all it's worth. Let's look at the receipts. Failed and exposed influencers, take Caroline Calloway, for example. She built an empire around vulnerability, promising healing and self-discovery, but her infamous creativity workshops fell apart, riddled with poor planning and broken promises. She sold emotional intimacy, but never delivered substance. Then you've got Teal Swan, an online spiritual influencer, who's been accused of manipulating followers and offering pseudoscientific, dangerously simplistic advice to deeply vulnerable people. She's not a licensed therapist, yet talks about trauma, suicide ideation, and inner healing like she's running a certified clinic. Multiple documentaries and former followers have come forward with serious allegations about her practices. Another name, Yovana Mendoza, aka Ravana. While not strictly a mental health influencer, she branded herself as a wellness and healing figure in the plant-based/cleansing community, but then she was exposed eating fish off-brand from her vegan identity, leading to backlash that highlighted how easily healing can be marketed even if it's not lived. And of course, there's a whole crowd on TikTok now diagnosing themselves and others with complex mental disorders after watching a few videos. It's so common, we now have the phrase TikTok therapists. People offering advice with zero training, zero accountability, and often zero clue. It's bigger than one influencer. Let me be clear, this isn't just about calling out a few bad apples, it's about a systemic issue in how social media rewards content. The algorithm doesn't reward healing, it rewards reaction. A 60-second video that makes you cry or spiral gets pushed more than a 10-minute video that walks you through how to actually manage anxiety. Creators notice this, so they lean into what works. Here's where it gets darker. A lot of these influencers, they aren't mental health professionals. They aren't trauma-informed. They haven't even healed their own wounds, but they've built whole platforms profiting off the pain of others. They know just enough buzzwords: toxic, narcissist, gaslighting, inner child, trauma bonding. They drip feed you just enough insight to keep you coming back, but never enough for you to actually break free. Think about it like this. If you were drowning, would you follow someone who just keeps yelling, "Yeah, drowning sucks"? Or would you want someone who throws you a lifeline and says, "Here's how to swim"? Some influencers are just yelling from the shore, making content about how bad drowning is while you keep sinking. Why would anyone do this? because misery is profitable. Let's break it down. The algorithm loves engagement. Posts that spark emotions, anger, sadness, fear, get pushed to more people. So posts about trauma, anxiety, and pain go viral. When you're struggling, you're more likely to buy books, courses, merch, coaching, and anything that promises relief. But here's the dirty secret. Some of these influencers don't want you to heal, because healing means you stop engaging with their content. Healing means you stop buying into their brand of misery. It's like a toxic relationship with the content you consume. It feels validating in the moment, but it keeps you stuck in the same cycle. And they know it. Today, you've got entire pages dedicated to trauma, sadness, and breakdowns, with no mention of therapy, no signposting to real resources, no invitation to do the work, just relatable pain, wrapped in a pretty bow. Now, here's where we turn the mirror on you. Are you healing or just consuming content that keeps you stuck? Ask yourself, do I feel empowered after consuming this content? Am I learning actual tools to manage my mental health, or am I just nodding along, feeling seen, but never moving forward? It feels good to hear. It's okay to not be okay. But after the 10th time, do you really need another post telling you that? Or do you need something that says, here's what to do next? Sometimes we stay stuck because it's familiar, because honestly, healing is hard. It requires effort, facing uncomfortable truths, changing habits. It's way easier to scroll through content that makes us feel understood than to actually do the work. But real healing, it's messy, it's uncomfortable. It doesn't come from passive consumption, it comes from action. Let's get practical. Here are some red flags to spot the misery merchants. First, they never offer solutions, just endless posts about how bad things are. Second, they sell vague, overpriced products. Think healing crystals, generic ebooks, or $500 workshops with no real value. Third, they thrive on drama, always calling out toxic people but never focusing on your growth. Fourth, they center themselves, not the healing. It's all about their journey, their pain, not about that helping you. And fifth, they aren't trained or qualified, yet they position themselves as experts on trauma, mental health, relationships. Ask yourself, is this person helping me grow or just keeping me hooked? There are good creators out there, therapists sharing free evidence-based tools, coaches who focus on growth, not dependency, communities that support healing, not just venting. Seek out content that challenges you, that makes you reflect, that offers real skills, not just sympathy. Look for creators who tell you, here's how to set boundaries, here's how to regulate your nervous system. Here's how to move forward. Healing is a journey, not a brand. Find guides, not gurus. So I'll ask you again, are you healing or just consuming content that keeps you stuck? Because at the end of the day, you deserve more than misery. You deserve to grow, to heal, to live free. Don't let anyone profit off your pain without offering you a path forward. If this hit home, share it. Let's call out the misery merchants. Let's break the cycle. And if you're ready for real healing, stick around. We're doing this differently here. Like, comment, subscribe, and tell me what content has actually helped you heal.